So Zowie finally made their move. It took a while and this wasn't what I was expecting, but they made a new shape. In this video I'm of course reviewing the EC3-C, but I'm also talking about all the future C models. As almost always is the case for Zowie mice, the build quality is truly great on the EC3-C. There is no flex anywhere to be found. There is some rattle coming from the scroll wheel when I shake the mouse, but this doesn't happen in real use. The build quality, all in all, super good. It's also the lightest EC series mouse, as it weighs about 74 to 75 grams on my scale. The coating of the EC3-C is the same coating as on their previous models. The thing about this coating is that it's very grippy, but it does leave some fingerprints. Pretty much instantly after use you can see some markings on the sides and on the bottoms as well. Once you haven't used it for a couple of hours, it does look better, but it definitely does not look unused. The main mouse buttons of the Zowie EC3-C are nice and tactile, and they are really easy to spam click. These are actually super good for any kind of gaming in my opinion, as they're very light and easy to actuate. And then again, easy to spam click for games like CSGO and Valorant, where you sometimes need to spam click. There is absolutely no button wobble on either one of the buttons, and there is some post travel, but it's very minimal, and there is some pre travel as well. But I think the click feeling is actually really premium on the EC3-C. One thing to notice that you can use a lower button response time when you plug the mouse in and press the mouse 4 button at the same time. And that's actually a great segue to the side buttons themselves. These feel okay to me. They are not as bad as the EC2 side buttons as I had previously, but they are definitely not the most premium feeling side buttons. They are nice and tactile, but there is still some pre and post travel. I would definitely still say that these are good for gaming, and even in general use they are nice and comfortable to use. The side button placement itself is great, as when I claw the mouse my thumb is right next to the side buttons and I can easily press either one of the buttons without actually even moving my thumb. The scroll wheel is also changed to the C series, and the new 24-step scroll wheel, it actually feels better to me in game and in real use than the old one, but it's still very loud. I myself do prefer this one over the waxy scroll wheel, as it does feel slightly different. It's slightly softer to scroll. Actually the button itself, it's somewhat medium force required, I would say. If you happen to have something bound to the button itself, you will be able to use it in game. One thing that's also changed to the C series is the cable, and the Zowie EC3 cable is actually very flexible. It's quite a bit more flexible than the waxy cable, for example. I would say it's not as flexible as the XM1R or the Cooler Master MM711 cable, but I've been actually gaming with it so that one of my camera lenses is on top of the cable and I'm just using it like this, and I can barely feel the cable. Another great thing about the cable is the massive upward angle on the stress relief. This actually makes it very good for any kind of bungee, and especially if you use the Pulsar micro bungee that I have, this cable is pretty much perfect in my opinion, as it does hold its shape and it's easy to set up so that it doesn't touch your table or your mousepad. The default Zowie feet are not the fastest on some control surfaces, for example like the waxy PA pad, but when using these feet with a faster pad like the Artisan High-End, the experience is great. The glide is slower than with some other stock feet, but you might actually even like that. Zowie also sent me these speedy skates. I did not find that much information whether these are pure PTFE or not, but the experience is much faster than the stock feet. Packaging contains an additional set of feet, but it would be awesome for Zowie to actually include these speedy skates in the packaging as well, so the user can themselves figure out if they want actually a faster experience or the slower one. The sensor in the EC3-C and all the new C series mice will still be the 3360. There are no issues with the performance, as the polling rate is stable at 1000 Hz, but the lift-off distance is not the lowest, as even on the low setting it seems to be over 1 DVD. I myself would definitely want to see a lower lift-off distance setting. It also would have been nice for them to upgrade the sensor, but in reality we just would not see any kind of performance difference. All in all, if we consider the upgrades, the weight feels very good for me and the weight balance is great. The scroll wheel feels a lot better to me and I'd prefer this one over the waxy scroll wheels. The Paracord cable is actually even very good. In regards of the shape, the EC3-C is basically a shorter and a slightly lower profile EC2. Zowie has done an extremely good job in explaining the shape on their website, and there is even this 3D image that you can, move around however you want. And there are very good examples on how you can grip the mouse and so forth. I think the mouse is going to be fairly good at all hand sizes, but in my opinion it's more towards the medium and small-handed people. I have 19 x 10 cm hands and I do prefer the EC2 over this one. The fact that it's so short makes it feel a little bit weird for me, and I'm gripping it all the way from the front. Because of the lack of palm contact, the base of my palm is completely touching the mousepad, which also makes the experience bad for me. It causes all kinds of consistency issues, especially if my palm is sweaty. But if you for example have used the Bonage Ultra Custom Ergo, the X-Lite or the EC2 and you found those too large, the EC3 is going to be a good option for you. For for most people with medium to large hands, I would play safe and wait for the EC2-C. The shape on the EC3-C just isn't the #1 choice for me. But of course, I know that there are a lot of users who can enjoy this, and the way Zowie does it is great because they have these larger, medium and smaller version of these mice. It's good for all of us. But as I already mentioned, I'm just super excited to see the FK2, the CA13 and the EC2-Cs. Those will be awesome, and who knows, maybe I will even be maining a wired mouse again. The only thing against the EC3-C and the whole Zowie lineup is the price. 70 euros or 70 USD is quite a bit considering that other top tier mice are available for 60 USD or 60 euros. But at least now with the C-series mice you won't be needing a paracord. Those faster feet included in the box would make the price more reasonable in my opinion. But the quality is of course exceptional and the performance is great. That's pretty much it guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button and see you in the next one.